bring enough at home. Make a little just to make it known. Steady, ready, better watch your tone. When I was 5'7", I was breaking bones. I had a 5'7", now I want the chrome. 9/11, I was in my zone. Lose the argument or lose your dome. Keep cool, ain't no running up. Damn, now I'm coming up. They coming to kiss me, you dumb or what? You drawn, you done enough. They told me don't rush it, just wait my time. Paying attention, I see the signs. Coming right to me like Amazon. No time for distractions, I'm on the grind. Little shorty is sick and she knows she fine. Got a couple of so never mind. They throwing the shade cause they know I shine. Reason I'm going in overtime. You stuck in your ways, you keep fantasizing. I just go get it, don't think about it. Don't make it an issue, it ain't a problem. Not too much talking, just organizing. One Westward, no way around it. Heavy so you know I'm grounded. Too sturdy, I'm well rounded. Tunnel vision, I don't see a challenge. Get a minute, I'm killing it. Case closed, I don't need a gavel. Know you hate it, don't even matter. New page, still the same time.
People might, but just never forget that I do not. Always have that fresh in your mind. That I feel absolutely nothing for your pain and your problem. Because I know that all of your pain and problems are a test to make you stronger.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready, then stay inside. You drown in a wave, or you gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified.
Seeing if you're gonna step up in what's world, you're gonna run.
You stick to the end, you get glorified. Let's make it official, I'm one of them. One of the greatest is no exempt. It took me a minute to figure it out. I was struggling, it made a man. I shuffled the deck and I played my hand. Just give me a reason to put them on you. Didn't believe that I had me a vision. Should I believe that you niggas loyal? We giving up game, they fumbling plays. I'm tired of talking, I'm racked out. Before that we started, they tapped out. I jumped in my duffel and blacked out. What you witnessing is elevation. Glory road to my destination. The haters, it's a celebration. And I put that on my reputation. When the fall, this a demonstration. Get sick and I know they hate it. One Westworld every season. Hot boy, this dedication. I'm giving game, I don't need favors. Go against us, you gon' see the danger. You ain't family, you a damn stranger. I'll beat your ass, I don't need a baker. I don't got time for excuses. I'm plotting on making a killer. I'm getting the feeling, they know that I'm coming, I'm running. Let's get to the business. I was still playing my post. Taking the rim like diesel. Don't run with too many people. I don't feel none of us equal. None of us equal.
And there are some brothers and sisters that know that so much, they would never leave you. They would never abandon you. Since you have to stay alive here, they'll stay alive with you.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready, then stay inside. You drown in a wave, or you gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified. You stick to the end, you get glorified.
They're one West. 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 They're one West.
Yeah, those are messed up, no. Bad news is to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby. Run that shit up, Trey.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me a whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Hopper Free. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I'm making hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that business like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me a whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the counting, with the speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
Okay. Homie, I've been...
There's a king that's coming back to save our people. Now, we should be preparing ourselves for the return of our king, not stuck up in these denominations and religions that's destroying our people and destroying our nation.
So when we are in this kingdom and our brother or sister is doing wickedly in this kingdom, we must tell them, look, the world is expecting you to stay docile, to stay stupid.
That's what Christianity teaches our people. Teaches our people to hate one another and love the oppressor. Like, we'll never forgive one another for anything that another brother or sister do to us, but we'll forgive the oppressor in a heartbeat. There's something wrong with that, man.
Imagine living your life as a whole Christian your whole life, and life's good because you're a Christian and Jesus is white and everything's going great, and there's a landslide and the earth opens up and you go downstairs and you walk through this place and you see a black Jesus, man. Why is Jesus Christ black with an afro in the catacombs, man? This predates the Renaissance period.
So when you read the book of Genesis, the trees in the garden with other nations, a leaf, what does a leaf do to a tree? Cover the tree. So Adam took the covering of another nation. What's the covering of another nation? Their culture. So when the Most High saw him and said, yo, Adam, where are you, man? Why are you? Don't mean I can't find you. He was like, who is this nigga? But like, where are you, man? I don't know you.
Okay. So the Ba al Banya Yasha'ala wa Amarath al Ham wa Aidya Yahweh. The Ba means speak. Al, when it's joined with something, so al Banya means what? Unto, right? Excellent. So al, when it's joined with something, means unto. Banya means children. Yasha'ala is Israel. So unto the children of Israel.
Like, if it's one thing a hoe gonna do, a hoe gonna hold. But you ain't, she can't hold if there's nobody to hold with. And the thing she said at the end, where she said, I went back and I lied to him and he still wouldn't do it. And then she threw up her hands and she said, well, he'll just be a brother. That's what he need.
That's
brothers.
Right.
If we have more brothers, hoes like her wouldn't have no outlet.
There was a man in the land of Oz, his name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright.
There you go, the man called Job. I think Job is what, that afflicted. And that man was perfect and upright, meaning what? You can be perfect, man. Job was a man like everybody else, man. Job wasn't no angel, he didn't come from the heavens, and that man was perfect, meaning what? You can be perfect in the Bible. Being perfect is in the Bible.
With me, had fringes on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith at y'all, know Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain above 50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause the niggas getting foul, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow.
Alright, Shalom Israel. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Barakatham to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Alatan Bahashim Yahushai to all the sisters. You know what I'm saying? This is the ISUPK, started out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You know what I'm saying? Under the Commanding General Yahana. Alright. This is the ISUPK, you know what I'm saying, the UK Lashawan Qadash class. This is where I teach you how to read, write, and speak, you know what I'm saying, biblical Hebrew. You know what I'm saying, the language, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans the language we spoke before we were colonized, enslaved, and taught, all the languages we speak today. All right, hold on 1 second. Let me get this right here. All right, so without further ado, as I like to do at the beginning of each class, I like to have brothers and sisters that may be watching, state your name and your registry. All right, so let me see. Also, I got a few in the comments too. All right, hold on. Shalom to, of course, shalom to Kayala live on the stream. Shalom to the sister and Zamana. Shalom to, we got Kanaya Hawada. Shalom. We got still the sisters. All right, shout out to the sisters. We got T. Will Williams. Shalom, Lord Christ. We got we got young man Michael Love. All right, Lord Christ. All right, shout out to the brothers. We got Black Mike. All right, no sorry Christ. All right, so without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead, kind of like if I could get you to state your registry, and we'll do the introduction. That's the intro. No sign Christ. So Kayala, Bath Yahawada, Bath Yasha'ala. I'd also see Nazamana state her registry. So Nazamana, Bath Yahawada, Bath Yasha'ala. All right, no sign Christ. As you come in, make sure you drop a comment. State your registry. So let me know you in. All right. Also, shalom to the sister Marisa. Yahweh Shema Taba Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, cool. So let's get into tonight's class. I'm going to start with the Hebrew alphabet. Bing. All right, so I'll read through it. So, the Hebrew alphabet, you can see my screen. Okay. So, again, with the Hebrew, you read from right to left. You can see the example up here for Lashawan Qadash, which translates to holy tongue. You see Lashawan Qadash, right? And these little connectors, underneath the Paleo Hebrew can let you know how the word is pronounced, right? You don't see that in the modern Hebrew, but you would see it in the ancient, right? That's how we would we historically wrote it. You know what I'm saying? So your Lashawan Qadash, the Hebrew alphabet, you got A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and Tha. Okay, so that's the Hebrew alphabet. If anybody doesn't have this sheet or would like it, as you start to learn the Hebrew, be sure to contact myself. Matter of fact, I'm going to put this in the chat right now. Also, if anybody wants to, join these classes live, like you see Kayala, like you see students, coming in and out, contact myself or contact the school at ISUPK UK@gmail.com. Email us, drop us a message on Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Just let us know your name, your zone, the name of your camp leader. All right. If you're new to the school, of course, you want to get in classes. Just get in classes generally, so on and so forth. We can get you in these classes in perhaps Lashawan Qadash. All right. So where we at? Also, for anyone who's still working on obtaining their Hebrew name, as you're doing your 90 days, if you're new to class, you want to fill in this attendance sign-in sheet. So I'm going to put that link in the chat right now. All right, so fill in this attendance sign-in sheet, and that marks your official attendance. Okay. Also, I'm seeing these registries, put in the chat, no sign Christ. So we got Kana, Bath Yahawada, Bath Yasha'ala, no sign Christ. All right, we got Marisa, Bath Banyamyan, Bath Yasha'ala. Okay, no sign Christ. That's perfect. Okay. Also, if anyone, is unsure of how to state their registry, you can see the format. I've put the format right here. So you say your name, then you'd say Ban or Bath, depending on whether you're a brother or a sister. You'd say your tribe in the Hebrew. Again, Ban or Bath Yasha'ala, which is Israel. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to carry on. All right, today's class, I want to go over the power structure. The power structure as we read, that if you've ever attended a Sabbath service or, a high holy day, you'll have heard the prayer for the power structure, which is Barakatha, Yahweh, Why Yahweh Shai, and so on and so forth. All these things that are listed right here in this power structure list, right? So even just the beginning, Barakatha, Yahweh. So Barakatha just means bless you, and then it goes through the power structure. Okay, so of course on the top of the power structure we have the Most High, which is Yahweh. All right, so that's the Lord's name in the Hebrew. All right, the Most High God, Yahweh. Then you have his Son, right, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh Shai. Again, it goes to show the Most High and Christ are not the same person. There is no Trinity. They're not one and the same. They're on one accord, but they are different entities. They're different people. You know what I'm saying? Then you have Michael, the angel Michael. All right, in the Hebrew, that is Mayaka'ala. Okay, as we going through these, you know what I'm saying, you want to if you don't have these down, the Hebrew words, you want to note them down. Okay, so we all should know Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? If you might be new to classes, that is the Lord's name and that is Christ's name in Hebrew. Okay, then you have the angel Michael, whose name in Hebrew is Mayaka'ala, right? Kaila, could you tell us how we'd say angels? So, bless you, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and Michael and the angels. How would you say angels in Hebrew? Alahayim, right? So Hebrew angels in Hebrew is Alahayim. Then you have in the power structure, we have, under the angels, under Christ, we have commanding general Yahana, right? So how would we say commanding general Yahana in Hebrew? Musa and Christ. So Matazabiyah Alawap Yahana, right? So Matazabiyah means commanding, and then Alawap is general, and then Yahana is the name of the commanding general over the ISUPK, right? So Matazabiyah Alawap Yahana, okay? Then you have the generals. How would we say the generals? Ha Alawapian, right? So ha being the preposition means the. Alawap is general. To pluralize it, you add yam. So ha Alawapian, the generals. Okay. Also, you can see over here, I've put in like the names or the how you'd say the different ranks in Hebrew. Like for example, you have commanding general Yahana, which is his rank is 13 shield commanding general Yahana, right? So to say 13 shield, you'd say Shalash Asherah Magan. Of course, Shalash Asherah is how you say the number 13. What you're saying is 3 and 10, which of course adds up to 13, right? So 3 and 10 shield. Magan, of course, here means shield, commanding general Yahana, right? Then you have generals which are 12 shield. You have General Mayaka, General Mahayaman, General Mayaka Allah, and General Hazayan. Those are 12 shield generals, right? I believe that's hold on. Is the General Shaman 12? Forgive me, I don't know the exacts, but you have 12 shield and you have 6 shield, right? So to say 12 shield would be Shanya Aishara. It's like this is him. This here is missing the Magan at the end as well, right? So Shanya Aishara Magan. Of course, Shanya Aishara is again how you say 12, right? So 2 and 10, and then Magan is shield. Then you have 6 shield generals, right? Shasha Magan, okay, so on and so forth. So those are the generals, right? And then Kayala, could you tell us how we'd say the captains in Hebrew? Ha Saranyam, right? So of course, ha again meaning the, Saran is captain, and you pluralize it, right? So ha Saranyam, the captains. The ranks for captains, you have captains of 13,000, and you have captains of 10,000, right? So to say like captain of 13,000, you'd say Saran, Shalash, Aishara, Alap, right? So captain of 13,000. To say captain of 10,000, Saran, Aishara, Alap, captain 10,000, right? Then you have the officers. How do we say the officers in Hebrew? Ha-Quatazayanyam. Following the same rule, the word for officer is Quatazayan, right? So Quatazayan, right? You can see here the ranks for the officers, right? The officers, the ranks we have is 5,550, right? Also, hold on. I'm missing out the 1,000. Hold on. You have the rank for 1,000, right? Which would just be how we say 1,000 in Hebrew. A lot, exactly, right? A lot, right? So for the ranks for the captain, the officers, officer. So Quatazayan Kamash Alap. That's a officer of 5,000. Quatazayan Alap, officer of 1,000. Quatazayan Kamash Ma'ah, officer of 500. Quatazayan Kamashiam, officer of 50. Okay, so those are the ranks for the officers. Then you have troopers. How would you say the troopers? Ha-Kayayalyam, right? So the word for trooper is Kayayal. With troopers, there's no rank amongst troopers. So it's just troopers is all on the same level, right? All the troopers are just troopers till you get ranked up, you know what I'm saying, till you get promoted to an officer and you permitted to teach, you know what I'm saying, you do the work of the Lord and you have rank over men, you have responsibility now. Of course, as a trooper, generally you have responsibility, but now you're responsible for the men under you. You are responsible for the troopers below you, right? Then before you become a trooper, you have a young man. So young man in the Hebrew would be Yalad. That's not in the power structure, but of course a young man would be aiming to become a trooper, right? You do your 90 days and you become a trooper, you get some rank, you get solidified in the school, you get your Hebrew name, you get, you become a trooper and you are now part of the body, right? Then you have the sisters, right? So, Kyla, how do you say the sisters in Hebrew? Ha-Aquathium, right? And the word for sister in Hebrew we have here as Aquath, right? So Aquath is how you'd say sister. Okay, the sisters again, sisters a rank, it doesn't have a rank, right? But once you get your Hebrew name, I mean, you're always a sister, but of course, as a sister, if you do your 90 days, you'll get your Hebrew name, and then once again, you're solidified in the school. All right, I see a question. So, like, here is there a word for priest? There is a word for priest. The word for priest is kahan, right? So kahan. So, for example, if you wanted to say, say I myself were to say, my rank, priest and officer of 500 Ra'alban, you'd use the word kahan. So let me just write it out as an example. Let me do this, right? So kahan is the word for priest. So like if I was to do the example, let me do this. Priest and officer. Priest and officer of 500 Rabba. This is my own example, right? So you do kahan, wa. So wa in the Hebrew means and. So you do this before the second word. So kahan, wa, kwata, zayan. Then the rank is kamash, ma'ah, which is 500. And then my name, right? Ra'alban. Okay. Right. So kahan is the word for priest. All right. Ayandaba. You can do, priest in general, priest and captain, priest and officer. Right. Of course, the troopers aren't in the priesthood yet. You enter into the priesthood once you become an officer. Okay. Cool. So that's done on that side. Right now, what I want to do is we're going to go through the names of the generals and what they mean. You know what I'm saying? So all of our generals. Okay. So the first, of course, we have Commanding General Yohana. Right? See, Commanding General Yohana, His name, obviously, his rank is commanding general. You know what I'm saying? Then his name is Yahana. Yahana, his name means joy. Right? So commanding general Yahana, his name means joy. Okay. Then you have General Mahayaman. Right? General Mahayaman, his name means trustworthy. Right? So the name Mahayaman means trustworthy. Okay. Then you have, I know this picture's a little small, so I'll zoom in for the pictures. Right? Commanding General Yahana, General Mahayaman. Then you have General Mayaka Allah. Right? Now his colloquially, he's generally called General Mayak or General Mayaka Allah, but his full name would be General Mayaka Allah Ka. Right? So the same name as like the angel Michael, which translates to who is like God. Right? So who is like God, and then the Ka at the end of General Mayaka Allah Ka is for the 11th. So you would have been like the 11th person to have that name, right? So that's what the Ka at the end, right? So Mayaka Allah Ka. Okay. Then you have General Hazayan, right? General Hazayan right here. His name means the weapon, right? So Ha meaning the, Zayan meaning weapon, right? Hazayan. It's like I might be going too fast. Let me know if I'm going too fast. I know people might be writing these down. Let me do it this way so I can zoom out. Right. So we get to General Hazayan. Okay. Give you a sec to note down if you're taking notes. Okay. Then you have. But if I just said I was gonna give you all some time. So let me know when we're ready to move on to the next one. I know I went through a few. If you're ready to move forward, Kayla, just let me know, okay? Ready? Okay, no sweat. All right, next you have General Shawama. Okay, so General Shawama, this general right here. I know the picture a little dark, so I'm gonna zoom in. All right, so this general right here, General Shawama. Okay. His name comes from the word Shamar, which means to watch. So Shawama is like watcher or keeper, right? Or like a guard, somebody who's watching over the people, who keeps the people, who's guarding them, right? So that is General Shawama, and that's what his name means. Okay. Then you have General Kathamgabar. Okay, so this general right here, General Kathamgabar. Okay. His name, so you have Katham, which means golden, and you have Gabar, which means warrior. So General Katham Gabar's name means golden warrior. Okay, and this is how you write it in both Hebrews, right? Again, I've got all the notes, of how you'd write each of these names in the Hebrew, right? So Katham Gabar. Okay, and then the last general we have is General Quabalamath. Okay, so this is General Quabalamath. All right, his name, so Quabal means to receive, and then you have Amath, which means truth. Right, so General Quabalamath, his name means receiver of truth. Okay, so that's Quabalamath. So that is all the names of the generals. Right, you have Yahana, which means joy, Mahayaman, which means trustworthy, Mayaka Alaka, who is like God, and the Ka is just for the 11th. Ka being the 11th letter in the Hebrew alphabet, it has kind of a numerical value like that, right? It can be attributed to a numerical value. You have General Hazayan, which means the weapon. You have General Shawama, which means a watcher or a keeper, you know what I'm saying, or a guard in that sense of the word. You have General Kathamgabar, whose name means golden warrior. And you have Quabalamath, right? Receiver of truth. Okay, so let me see. How would we say, Kaila, how would we say 13 shield commanding General Yahana?
Shalash, Aishara, Magan, Matazabia, Alawakihan.
No, son of Christ. So 13 shield, Commander General Yahan. Exactly. So again, you have the 13 shield, Shalash Ashura Magan, and then Commanding General Yahana. You can see right here, Matazabia Alawap Yahan. Okay. How would you say, let me do 12 shield General Hazayan? How would you say that?
Shania, Aishara, Magan.
So 12 shield General Hazayan.
Shania, Aishara, Magan, Alawat,
Mm-hmm.
Hazayan.
Hazayan, exactly. Well done. All right, so as the sister said, so Shanya Aishara Magan, that's 12 shield, Alawap General, Hazayan, right? So Shanya Aishara Magan, Alawap, Hazayan. That's 12 shield General Hazayan. Okay. How would you say 6 shield General Kwabalamath?
Shasha, Magan, Alawat, Wabal, Ama.
No sign Christ, correct. Right? So Shasha Magan, which is 6 shield, Alawap, which is General, Kwabalamath. Right? Shasha Magan, Alawap, Kwabalamath. 6 shield General Kwabalamath. Right, which is receiver of truth. Okay, most sign Christ. So we've gone through the power structure. You know what I'm saying? We got the word priest for the sister Kana. You know what I'm saying? The water for the question. I do encourage if anyone has any questions as we going through the class, just type them in the comments. You know what I'm saying? I'm checking for any questions. So just let me know. Right. Then you have we went through all the different ranks. You know what I'm saying? All the different ranks of generals, captains, officers. You know what I'm saying? Then you have troopers, young men, and sisters. Okay. You've been through all the names of the generals and their meanings. So that is the main things I wanted to cover during this class. Now, before we move on to the second half of the class where we go through vocabulary, does anybody have any questions or anything else they want me to run over? Or we all good to go? While anybody who has any questions might be formulating, if you want to know any particular word or how to say this, how to say that, just let me know. While you're doing that, let's see, prep for the vocabulary section, the vocabulary half of the class. Right, so let me do. Okay. Kyla, I assume you're to walk for you good to go?
I'm still reading.
Okay, no sweat. Are you doing the names of the generals? Mm-hmm. Okay, let me zoom in here. Of course, as I'm going through the class, if I'm going too fast, because I want to be able to give time for people to make notes, just let me know. Because of course I can't see how long it might take you to write. So if I'm going too quick, just let me know. Okay, and I'll slow it down. Okay, let me zoom in so you can see it clearly. Okay. Okay, brother asked a question. So Makwali Alice says, like everyone, when I sign in the Virginia class tonight, can I say Kaya Yao, Makwali Allah instead of trooper? Absolutely. So that's what Kaya Yao is in Hebrew. So that will be perfect. You're saying your rank in Hebrew, you're saying your name in Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? So Kaya Yao, Makwali Allah. That's absolutely, you can absolutely say that. Right? Even I know there's a brother, Barak Yao likes to do this a lot. He'll do his registration in Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple generals like General Kwabalamath used to be over the I don't say used to be. I'm pretty sure he still is. He's over the Hebrew department. He'll do his registry in Hebrew, right? Shasham Magan Alawab Kwabalamath, right? You can absolutely do that, right? Even if you wanted to yeah, like as you state in your registry, you could put your rank in your registry. So you could do Kaya Yao, Makwalia Allah, Ban, whatever your tribe is. We see Yahweh, right? It's in your name on the YouTube. So Ban Yahweh, Ban Yasha'Allah. You can absolutely do that. Even if the sisters wanted to do like Aquath, name, Bath, tribe, Bath Yasha'Allah, you can absolutely do that as well. For anybody, if you're like an officer and above, you can also put priest in there, like as we went through today. You can do Kahan, Wa, Kwatazayan, Saran, Alawap, whatever your rank is. Like the number. So like for myself, Kahan, Wa, Kwatazayan, Kamash Ma'a, Ra'alban, Ban Yamyan, Ban Yasha'Allah. You could do the whole rundown. You know what I'm saying? That's absolutely tawab. That is good to present and show that you were learning the Hebrew. You learned, you know what I'm saying? You're not just repeating words you hear people say. You're learning the Hebrew. You're understanding, you know, how to formulate things about yourself, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. It shows you know, paying attention for what. All right. No sign Christ, I the ball. Go ahead.
When you went over general Amath,
Mm-hmm.
is Amath the word for truth, or is
Khan? Amath is the word for truth.
I'm finished.
Okay, you Tawab. All right, I can even show. Let me show that over here. I'm searching Amath in the blue. Let me search truth. I'll show you the word. Amath right here, right? So truth, true, right, faithfully, you know, so on and so forth. Verity, that's the word. Then you have let's see, search this. Receive. Let me search exact match. All right, you see this word here, quabal, right? To receive, to take hold, so on and so forth, right? Quabal is to receive, right? You see here is on the same word. All right, shalom also to Yahabashim Yashabakata. We got Trooper Kaya Wash. All right, checking in from Columbus, Ohio. Most High in Christ. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we'll go through the vocabulary from the Sabbath service verses. So we're going to be reading from Numbers 10 and verse 32. So let me share my whole screen. All right, and of course, I'm still keeping an eye on the comments. So if anyone has any questions as we go in through, just put them in the comments. All right, entire screen. Okay, let me zoom in. All right, so Numbers 10 and verse 32. Let me see, is this bold or... Okay, what is that? All right, so let's scroll down to verse 32. Let me do this a bit quicker. 27, 32. All right, so 32. The first thing we have wa as a preposition. What does wa mean as a preposition? And of course, as we're going through it, anybody in the comments, feel free to type the answer in. All right. But yeah, what does wa mean as a preposition? And, right? Exactly, right? So wa means and, or, select here. I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, right. And, or in essence, the one to Kaya Wash. I see it. All right, it's essentially a continuation of what's being said, right? So you can see it translated sometimes as the word but if what's following is kind of in contrast to the previous statement, right? I almost said the, right? So you could tell me, Kana, which preposition means the, right? Let me know in the comments. All right. But yeah, you can see wa sometimes translated as yet or but, or like therefore, you know, so on and so forth. It depends on the context, but it's basically a continuation of what's being said. Okay. And then you have, has my screen stopped sharing? Okay, you can still see it. All right, it's just on my side. All right, then you have haya, which means to be or become, right? So wa haya means, and it will be, or and it will become, right? You have kaya. Okay, you can tell me what kaya means. Mm-hmm.
For or because.
Exactly, right? Kaya means for or because. Nike's because, right? Let me just sit back and okay. Ha is correct, right? So as you're saying, so ha is the preposition for the. So let me just note that down. Okay. Ha preposition, right? Oh my days, I just copied the short version. Okay. Right? So ha means the. All right, the water. Right? You have kaya, which means for or because. Now you see this one over here, it's translated it as if. So let's go into the word. Okay, so you see for or because is what is it's mostly translated as. Let me see, where's the where's the right, because, like here it is, right? 409 times it's translated as because, right? You see other instances because was for. Let me see this. For. Is it in that list? Should be. Yeah, whatever. Okay, all right. It's not in this in this particular list, but that's what it means. It means because, right? You can see here. It's also translated a good number of times as if. And there was another one I've seen. It was translated. What was it, 200 and something times? 241 times as when. Okay, so I'm also going to add that in the definition. So, and you can see it up here. For, because, when, if, surely, indeed, that. Right, but the main ones we're going to note down to expand our understanding of this word. It means for, which is in essence the same thing as because. It means when, or it can mean when, and it can mean if. Okay, so that's our definition for. Am I still sharing? Just because my screen is okay. No sign crash. All right, let me take this off. Okay. So that's why it's translated as if here. Okay. Then you have thalak. All right, thalak. Right. The root word here is halak, which means to walk or to go. Okay. Okay, so halak means to walk or to go. The thalak is I believe when we go over verbs. Let me see if I go to not that. If I go to Control F and I go to future, let me go to future tense. Right, you can see right here the future tense for to say you are going to do something, right? Or you will do something. This is future tense. So this is saying if you do this. Of course, you haven't done it already. You're not doing it currently. So you'd use a future tense, right? So the future tense for you, you'd add a tha at the beginning of the verb, right? So this is where halak becomes thalak, right? You'll see a bunch of examples of that, like Nathan becomes Thathan, as in to you give, right? Now, to simplified for us and to kind of avoid confusion of like the word, you can just put it as like to say you are going to give, or if you give, or whatever. You can just do than, right? Because someone might not know what the root word is you're saying if you say than, right? But it's kind of like shorter ways to say it. You know, with Israelites, you know, you always come up with abbreviations, shortening things, you know, just changing one part of a word and it means the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That's how we roll. But for simplicity's sake, as we learn in the language again, as it was taken from us, you could just say thanathan, tha halak, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth, right? But the rules are the same. You add tha at the beginning, but if you're saying I am going to do something, you add at the beginning, so on and so forth, right? So let's get back to where it was just at. Where is it? I'm gonna be right here. All right. So that's where halak turns into thalak, right? If thou will go, okay. Then you have I'm nawa, right? I'm nawa, okay. So you have I'm, okay, the root word I'm. Now this, let me see. I'm as a word, let's see. Okay. So you have I'm as like a noun, which means like people, kinsmen, so on and so forth, people that are grouped. It comes from a word which means together, right? Then you have I'm here, which is used as a preposition, meaning it's before a word, it's connected with something else, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also put, since this is a preposition, I'm gonna also put this I'm as a preposition means with, or like among. Okay, you can see it's also translated as against, but that would also be kind of like the among, right? So I'm gonna put that in as well, since it's the most translated. So with, among, against, kind of like what's that word where I think it's isle as a preposition, which, or it's I think it's ba as a preposition can be, and I can get this over here. So ba as a preposition can be like in, on, with, or against. It's a similar thing with isle, I believe that's another one. Let me see if I can find this preposition for isle. What if I do this? If I search isle, take the caps lock off. How do I do the I? Okay, I, right, isle. If I search this, let me make a new tab here, because there's another word which can have this like against, and I use the example of like leaning against a wall, right? Let me see. Is it Iowa? What's a verb? I want the preposition. Let me check this one. Is this it? Substantive preposition, right? So this is one that can mean on, upon, over, or against, right? Like if something is leaning on a wall, or so on and so forth, right? It's against the wall. It can be translated as that way as well. Or upon, right? On. So let me put this one as well. Right. I'll preposition. I suppose I could. Nah. Let me not complicate it. Right. This is a word which means on, over, upon, or against. So if you ever see, you know what I'm saying, either of these words, or should I say prepositions, translated as against, you know what I'm saying, they can mean that in their own respective way. Okay. Let's get back to, I also want to put I'm as the noun. Comes from imam, to associate. Interesting. Makes sense. Where is the I'm though? Let me search this. I'm. Let's do the same thing again. Just search for the word. You have I'm as a noun. Okay. With, you know, I'm here, it means folk. I think that's the one we're looking for. That's like kinsmen, kinfolk. You see here, people, right? So it's I'm pretty sure it's mostly translated as the word people. Where is the okay? People, folk, as in, you know, kinfolk, right? Nation, people, so on and so forth, right? And then the it comes from a word which means again the I'm as a preposition and I'm as a noun, they both come from this word which means to associate, right? So you can see how that works, right? I'm as a preposition means with, among, against, in the what's the word? In the context of being together, right? You could be going against somebody in war, but you're coming together for war, right? So it could be like that. With, among, I suppose that's similar to even, and I don't want to confuse, but similar to the word korab, right? Which can be meet, we can be meet, encounter. It can also be the word for war, right? As you meet a host, as you meet another army, right? The opposition, a war or a battle ensues. As you encounter them, it's a hostile encounter. That's a word we went over last week, right? But you can see kind of the different kind of contexts of these words, right? Let me get I'm as a noun, people, nation. I'm gonna also put like kinfolk. All right, I don't want to go off on too many tangents, so let me reel myself in a little bit. All right, let's get back to the verse. Okay. Cool. So I'm nawa, and this nawa at the end as a suffix. So let me put nawa. Do I usually just put like at the end of? I think I just put an end of word. Right. So this nawa comes from the word anaknawa. Anaknawa, which means we, us, or us, right? The nawa at the end of a word, like similar to wa at the end of a word, can be his, like his house. It can be him, like to him or for him. You'd say lawa, or it can be it, right? Generally, wa means he or it, right? So it'd be like the same way wa at the end of a word is he, him, or I should say him, his, or it. Nawa at the end of a word is like saying our, or also us, right? So that's why it says I'm nawa would be with us, right? That, if that makes sense. If anyone is confused by the what I just said, the kind of suffixes or, you know, letters at the end of a word, let me know and I can kind of go over those, because it would be good, you know, if anyone's unfamiliar, it would be good to learn. Like possessive adjectives saying his house, you know, her, book, whatever word you're saying, possessive adjectives. It's good to know. Okay. Then we have, if anyone does want to, has any questions, put it in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to carry on. Right. We have wahaya, which we have already. We have ha, tawab. Right. So we have ha already, which means the. Then we have tawab. Right. So if you go into this word. Okay. Tawab is good, pleasant, you know what I'm saying, agreeable. There's plenty of definitions, but in essence, it means this is good. It's a good thing, right? Whether it's a noun, whether it's a concept, whether it's whatever, this is good. I agree with this. This is tawab. It's good. It's blessed, right? Whatever word you would use to I kind of translate it. I'm just trying to see how, like the let me see. I couldn't get the blue letter up on this side because sometimes this one doesn't have like how many times the word is translated as this, as that. Whenever we're translating a word, you would look at the most common translations, and that will let you know what the intent of the word is. If it's the most common to say this, that's most likely what would mean that, if that makes sense. Somebody, hold on. So like you said, so nawa is the plural of wa in a sense. I get where you're coming from, but not necessarily the plural of wa. It's just different. So this would be a good one to go over. Let me see. See if I go to subject, Mr. B, subject pronouns. Okay. So you can see the subject pronouns here, which is like saying I, you, me, he, she, so on and so forth. Right? The pronouns you have to say I is anya, to say you is atha, to say he is hawa'a. So in a sense, you could say the wa at the end of a word to mean he, his, or it. And this word as well, this hawa'a can and haya'a is very similar, but we have hawa'a as he, haya'a as she. We have anaknawa as we, and like shortened it, they've just used the nawa to say us or our. So it's less just the plural of the wa and more just the shortened of anaknawa, if that makes sense. Right? Then you have, a tham, a than, ham, and han. Right? Then somewhere here, I have here, right? Possessive adjectives, right? So to say, this is my something, this is your something, this is his, this is hers, this is our. You add these, right? So this is almost kind of parallel with the, like saying him, his, me, right? So you'll see, like, for example, to say to me, you'd say laya. So you can almost just parallel it with, as a possessive adjective, ya means my. So as what would the let me see. Let me type in what type of word is my. And possessive adjective, to just basically explain what it is, it's an adjective is just describing something. So it's describing who possesses it, right? So you see right here, oh, not my, me. It's a singular object pronoun. Okay, so these are pronouns, right? Him, I guess that's, that whole, forget about the alphabet soup stuff, that whole they, them stuff, but a pronoun is just like saying me, him, her, us. These are pronouns. They, them, those are pronouns, right? So you can use these similarly. right? Where you see ya as a pronoun, that is me. Where you see ka as a pronoun, that's you. Where you see wa as a pronoun, that's him, or can be it sometimes. When you see ha, that's her. When you see kam, that's y'all, you know what I'm saying, or to you all, right? When you see can, that's just the feminine of kam. There, right? You have this ma. You usually see it just kind of at the end of a word. We would join it as like if you're saying their house, you would say bayatham, right? And that's their house. If you're saying to them, you'd usually see it similar to like over here, you say laham, or there's plenty of instances, but I don't want to confuse, and I don't want to go too far on a tangent. But in answer to the question, it's less the plural of wa and more just the shortened of anakanawa, if that makes sense. Okay, let me move back before I start just going off on another tangent. So like here, y'all. All right, where we at? We I just have to find it. Scroll. All right, we back here. Okay, Tawab is good and pleasant. Let me search good here. So much. Let me find this Tawab as an adjective. Okay. Tawab is mostly translated 361 times as good, better, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. Good, pleasant, agreeable. It's the same word. So in essence, it's mostly translated as good, right? That works for me. Good or pleasant. Right? That's the essence of what's being said. All right, let's move back. All right, come, Mosiah Christ. Mosiah Christ. I see Kana. Okay, Mosiah Christ. All right, let's move back. So we have Hawa'a, right? So this is like the example Hawa'a. That's a word I just showed before, right? So you can see it's a pronoun, third person singular, right? You can see he, right? Sometimes it can be translated as she or her, but it's mostly he, him, or it, right? So he, him, or it. Where you have himself, the same, so on and so forth, right? So let me click this. Okay, right. So Hawa'a is he, him, or it, right? It can also it's also translated as this, right? Which is kind of similar as in the it category. Let me see this. What did I just? Okay, let me put that in here as well. This. Why did that take out it? Okay, he, him, it, and this. Right now you see. Ha hawa'a, right? Where you see this ha hawa'a, so you have the preposition ha, and then you have hawa'a. So it's like saying the it, right? Or the this, right? So that's why it's translated as that, right? So like the it is translated as that, right? If you can kind of almost put that together, the it just translates as that, right? Or the this translates as that. Okay. You have a shar, which in its essence, what does a shar mean, Carla? Which, right? Which. Now again, this is another word where you'll see translated as many different ways. But in its essence, you could almost every time just swap that word as which, and it makes sense. It's just translated in different ways because in different contexts you might use who, right? Like the person which I told to do this. In English, you translate as the person who I told to do this, right? Or the man which stole my money, right? In English, you translate it as the man that stole my money, right? So that you'd have plenty of different definitions for this word. Like if I go in it, I mean, it's you know, who, which, that, when, where, how, but in essence, it's really which, right? That's the more universal definition. Okay. Then let's go to, okay, we have ya, yata, yab. I think this is the same. Okay, yatab. Okay. Yatab, which is another verb. It means to be good. So it's clearly like an offshoot of that the word tawab, right? Okay, it means to be good or to do good. Do good. Okay, yatab, right? Or to make something good, to make something beautiful, to do well, so on and so forth, right? That's the definition of yatab. Then we have Yahweh, right? Yahweh, which is of course the Lord's name. Okay, you have I'm now, which is like with us or among us. You have Yahatabnawa. Okay, it's like your Wahatabnawa. Okay, let me go to this word. Is there anything different? No, it's just Yatab. Right, so it's and the doing well of us, or hold on, and the same we will do. Okay, so whatever good, you know what I'm saying, whatever the Most High will do good to us, we will do what like out home, and the doing good of us is like how that would be transliterated, and the or again, why is just a continuation. So yeah, and the doing good, same thing to you, right? So this is like how I said that ka at the end of the word is like your or you. You can see the instance here, like ka, meaning you, to you, right? So let me get from here, la as a preposition. Is 2 or 4. Then we have ka. I feel like almost it's fine. Ka at the end of a word is you or your. Okay. All right. Then you have wa, yasaiwa. Okay. So the root here is yasai, which means to journey. All right. So if you go into this word, to journey, to travel, to depart, which is the same thing. You just unit as to journey, right? Set as in to set out. Journeyed is the most translated. So it's in essence to pull out or set out a journey, right? To journey, to travel somewhere. Okay. You have mahar. Okay, mahar. You have ma as a preposition. So ma as a preposition means of or from. Then you have har. Right? Har is a word which means hill or like mountain. I think if you go into the word, it can also refer to like a pregnant woman, because as she, as she develops in the pregnancy, her stomach starts to, get large, almost like a hill, right? I've seen that used somewhere, but I can't remember where. But I get that's a little tidbit. Let me see if I can even find it in here. Or it might be like the word for, as in like to be with child or to be pregnant, comes from the word har. I've definitely seen that connection. Let's see. I just want to see if I can find. See if I can find that word, because it'd be good to just add in, random little words that's useful to know. So what would I search here? I don't think the word pregnant is like used in the Bible. Let me see. Nah, it would be like with child or something like that. Let me see if I can. Horror, right? To conceive, that's the word, right? This is what I'm thinking of, right? You can see horror, right? It comes from the word har, right? Which means a hill, right? You can see that the connection. The etymology seems to lie in the idea of swelling, similar to harar, harahar, or harhar, right? Which is this harar. Let me see if this is is that what? Never mind, I don't want to go too far into it, right? So feminine noun with child, to conceive, right? Pregnant. Let me just know what's the is it this one? Okay, so let me know that down. Horror, which means to conceive, to become pregnant, which is what that means, right? To be with child, right? So on and so forth. So a little interesting, connection there. At least in my opinion. It may not be interesting to you. All right, let me carry on this on stage. Okay, we have Darak. Okay, Darak. Who could tell me what Darak means? Let's see if anyone knows. Kayla, do you know what Darak means? Khan, go ahead. What does Darak mean? Path or way. Exactly. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna do way or path, right? So it would be, I believe it would be more translated as way, but in essence can mean the path as well, right? Like if you're saying, and I think we went over this example, or we've been over this when we went, most translated as way. But when we were going over, like asking what is the way, right? Or how do I, what is the way to the store? What is the way to the school? You're asking for the path, right? Darak can mean path. It can mean road. It can mean, like you see right here, road 30 times, roads, roadway. The path, it can by extension be journey, the way you're going, right? But it mostly translates to way, road, distance, journey. Manner is like the manner which you got there, right? Which is basically the way, right? Way or path, right? A road, as trodden, a course of life, a mode of action. So you can even say this is a course of life or a mode of action. This is the way you do something, right? This is the way you work a whatever. This is the way you, what's an example? You say this is the way you write this. This is the way you operate this, right? You could use direct. This is basically saying this is the way to do this, right? This is the steps. This is the path to operating a vehicle, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You could use direct that way. Okay. So it's either basically a literal path or a figurative path. Okay. Let me see. Wa arawak or wa. No, arawan. Let me see. What's the root here? Phoenician is Iran. Yeah. I think that wa. You have to be careful with these was in here. I'm suspicious of the word even tawab. I feel like that may, but I need to get that confirmed. I don't want to go into that right now. You can see Arawan here, which I believe would just be Iran. We can see that right here where it puts the Phoenician is just Iran. All right, so that's what I'm gonna put as. Phoenician is the that's the Paleo Hebrew. It's another word for it. So Iran is the word for ark or chest, right? Basically like a large box, right? A container of something. So you see chest for money, offerings, a sarcophagus, like a casket, ark, and the tabernacle and the temple, so on and so forth, like the Ark of the Covenant. All right. So ark is just like a vessel, a container for something. Okay. It comes from the word ara, which kind of it goes along with the pronunciation being more Aran than adding this Y in here somewhere, right? So that's what I'll put that as. Ark, chest. I guess I can put this in as here. Basically a box, right? So either says ark, chest, or a coffin, right? So I can add that in here as well. Okay. Okay, you have Bariath, which means covenant. Okay, so Bariath. There's a word which means covenant. You have Yahweh, so the covenant of the Lord. Let me see where we at. We'll probably get to the end of verse 34. I might close out a little early. Right, Nasai. Okay, Nasai. That's similar to Yesai. Let's see. To journey 56 times to set. Yes, it's almost the same, down there the same word as Yesai. Okay, so let's add that in here. Yesai to journey to travel. I already have that. And I guess it comes from to pull up the tent pins, right? So to pull up your what's the word? Like as you know, as you're journeying, as you're traveling, you'll set up a tent, you'll set up camp, right? And then as you leave and departing, you uproot the tent pins, you what's the word? You pack everything up to move, right? So Nasai also meaning to start on a journey. Okay, then we have Lapanyaham. Okay, so the root here is Panya, right? So we have La, which means 2 or 4. You have Panya, which means it can mean like your physical face, It can mean two-face. It can mean before, as in the presence of. Is there anything else? Let me go into it. Face, presence, countenance. Countenance is the same as face. Before, it's kind of the same as presence. So I think that's the word. But it can also mean like to face, right? Like to face somebody, to face something, like to turn and face, right? I think that's the word, right? So you have la panya ham, which is like to the presence of them. And this is like the example I said with ham at the end of a word, meaning like there or them. Or is it yeah, there or them, right? Or they. I mean, you can put that in as well. Okay. Let me put that in since we have it. So you could either have ham, or sometimes it's just written as adding the ma at the end, and especially if a word ends in like a Hebrew letter that doesn't already have the ah sound. Like with panya, you wouldn't really do panya because it already has the a sound. So you do panya ham, but with, for example, bayath ends in the th sound, so you could do bayatham, and that already sounds like you're almost adding ham at the end. Bayatham, it sounds the same. So you'll see instances where it just adds the ma from the ham, right? But this is what the full thing would be. It would be this ham, which don't delete column, which would mean they. What in the? Sorry, let me type it. Okay, they, them, or their. Right. Of course, this is the masculine. Right. You could see han. Han would be the feminine. Okay. You have the rak, shalashath, yam yam, which is 3 days. The root here, I didn't really go through that word because I just kind of wrote it down. Shalash means 3, right? Yam yam comes from the word yawam. Pluralizing it means days. All right, this is another one where I imagine the wa is something that the oppressor added to make like this o sound. So he would pronounce this word as yom, right? But let me see. If I can't, fully prove something, I won't teach something I'm not fully sure of. But even just the fact that pluralizing it is yam yam, you can imagine. Let me see. Yaman. Yeah, Phoenician, yam. So you can see that instance there. What I might do with that word is even kind of run it through the Lashawan Qadash teachers. See if this is something we need to amend. There's a lot of things as we're reclaiming our language, a language that an oppressor came and took and added whatever the hell he wanted to add to it. As we're learning back of the Hebrew, a lot of the Hebrew, I guess, records or tools we use is written in the oppressor's Hebrew. So we have to do a lot of deconstructing and going all the way back to the original, right? So we might not even always get, every word right the first time around, because there's things we have to really go in and research and see, if this is a word that's been changed, So with this, for now, I'm gonna leave it alone, but I'm gonna raise that with the I'm gonna raise that word, see if that's one that needs amending, because it would make sense, yam to be the singular for day, yam yam being the plural, But for now, I'm leaving it. I'm not gonna teach it if I don't know it's correct. Okay. Then we have, let me see, Lathawar. What's this word? Tamianda to trade. Let's see. Thawar. Pardon me. Okay. Let's note this down. Thawar, meaning to explore, to seek for something. Seek, spy out, spy, investigate, spying. Okay, 2. Seek or spy out. That's the word, to look for something, explore, seek, investigate. That all goes into like kind of spy out. That makes sense. All right, we have laham, which again is for them, right? That la means 2 or 4. Ham can mean they, them, or their, right? So 2 or 4 of them. Then we have mana. Hold on. Manawak. Okay. Manawaka. Hold on. Manaka, right. This is another one. You see this wa? So you can see there's 2 versions of this word, right? There's manaka and there's manawaka, right? It'll be the same for where this word comes from. This is the feminine of manak, right? Or it does it here is manawak, right? Let me see if this is also one that has this don't show the 2 versions. So again, and this comes from manawak, right? This comes from nawak. All right, and then this is Aramaic, Phoenician, Nakath, Yanak. This is like Noah's name, which Noah in the Hebrew is Nak, right? So this wa is it's like I think that's one that's added. Anyway, let me not go. I don't want to go too far into this rabbit hole. Not during the class, because it's some verifying that needs doing. So anyway, the word we're looking at is going to be manaka, right? So manaka. So it's like of, rest, and then the ha is the feminine version, right? And it means a resting place, right? It means a comfortable place, right? So ma na ka, manaka. It means resting place. Okay. Comes from the word nak, which is the same as Noah's name, which means rest. Okay. You can even put in comments. Name of Noah. Okay. Where we at? We at 8:30. I think I said I was gonna finish 34. Let's do that. Let's finish 34. So we have wa ainan, right? Ainan is a word we went over in last week's class. What does ainan mean, Kayla? Cloud, right? Ainan means cloud. Well done. All right, you have Yahweh, I'll Yaham, right? So this is like that. I'll is a preposition we went over earlier. I'll is a preposition, means on, over, or upon. You have Yaham, which is like over them. The Yah is almost like just a kind of a connector, right? But over them, above them, so on and so forth. Then you have Yawamam. Okay, I'm assuming to put this mam because we're talking about them, right? With this, I'm gonna leave it as Yawam for now. But by day, okay, we already have that down, so that's fine. We have Ba Nasai, Ba Nasayam. Okay, so We have ba as a preposition, which means in, on, or with, right? So it would be with, nasai, the journey, or I guess on the journey of them, right? Or on their journey, right? It was above them by day on their journey. It followed them, right? Or like when they started their journey, right? So it's like when they went, when they started moving, okay? You have man. This is a word which means from. It's almost the full word for ma as a preposition. So this man, even here, it does it as a preposition, which means the same thing as ma. So it's like the full version. Just capture preposition. Yeah. So from or out of. Yeah. From. Okay. You can see because of as well. I'll say mostly translated because it's mostly translated. Ban. Okay, 224 times. From or out of in many senses. A part of. Okay. I don't want to get too deep into this word. Let me see. From. Okay, so I guess it's given like because. Let me see. Because how would because formulate into man? Just like maybe it's like almost like you could say, and the floor was destroyed or the ground was destroyed from the flood, right? You could almost translate that as because, right? Anyway, that's my my theory, I guess. But I want to go too deep into that word. I don't spend too much time on it. We have ha, manaka, right? So this is this same word here, right? Manaka, which means resting place. So this is an instance. Let me see, 4264 4496. Okay, hold on. So it's a different number, but it basically means the same thing. Okay, manaka, camp, encampment, host. So yeah, to me that's the same thing. You know, this is a noun. Let me look at the other word. This would also be a noun, but the feminine. What if I look at this word? It's a. Well, this is a name. So oh, I'm tripping. Salakia. This is makana, not manaka, right? I swapped the ka and the na. Salakia. Right. So okay, it is a different word. Okay, so and this comes from kana, which means to encamp. All right, so let me go to the root. So the root here is kana, which means to pitch a tent, to encamp. Okay, to encamp. This is the most common definition. To pitch tent, to dwell. So the same thing. So to encamp. Then you have manaka. No, it's like here. Makana. Keep flipping that around. So manaka, which you have the ma preposition is just like of. So it's like of an encamp or of the verb to encamp, right? So this is now the noun of the camp or encampment, right? I'm going to put encampment just to keep it the same theme as the previous, right? Encampment, or it could also be, let me see, encampment or camp. Okay, an encampment of travelers or troops. Hence, it can be translated sometimes as an army, but its original meaning is encampment. Imagine you could just say like we stumbled upon the encampment of the enemy. It's where they're all they're all dwelling, they've all settled there. That's where their army would dwell. But you're saying their encampment. It's just by extension or by context. It could be translated as their army. Okay. So boom, that's that. Okay, and that's the end of verse 34. All right, Most High in Christ. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this up on the screen. So if anyone wants to make these make their notes. I seen there was a question. Hold on. Let me get this question. Just look back in here. Okay. All right, let me get this question. So, right. Oh yeah, the Kana. Right, yeah, but okay, Kana. Okay, I got you. The question was, let's see. At the end of class, can you explain how you became a Hebrew scholar? Like, did you teach yourself all this by reading the rules of Hebrew language? I became a Hebrew scholar, so I opted to take the Hebrew class. So as as a school develops, there's main classes, and then there's you might start to add certain classes. Like once you get to a certain level, or once you get enough brothers to man these classes, you'll get like a Hebrew class. The Hebrew class was originally Shamgar's, and I took it over, right? So I became the Hebrew teacher. You just learn. So I learned by, there's a couple things you want to, research, do your own research, but also there's previous Hebrew scholars before you. So you learn from them. I learned from watching Officer Hazahab, Officer Kalkazar, previous Hebrew teachers. We watch their classes, you learn certain things, you pick it up, you do your own research, and then once you understand what it is you're teaching, you then teach people what you've learned. Same thing with anything. You learn from the men before you, and if there's anything I stumble on or I'm confused by, I can always ask the other Lashawan Qadash teachers. We all, we communicate, so we can learn from each other. But that's how I became a Hebrew scholar, to answer your question. Okay, all right, and that is that. Kyla, is anything you're noting down, or you good to go? You good to go? Most High in Christ. Okay, with that, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. All right, we'll close out a couple minutes early. So, let me see. Since I have the time, I'm gonna go ahead and read the. Let me see where do I have it. Bada bing, bada boom. Hold on 1 minute, y'all. I want to get the security announcements. Okay, so. All right, so we are the ISUPK. Hold on, no, that's what. Let me grab the next one. We are the ISUPK, started out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. So there's rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months, right? They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves with the world. If they need any transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to that brother or sister. There's another 6 months period in which the brother and sister will court each other. And after that 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from their head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, means 10th in the Hebrew. All right, that's ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give that to the treasury department or the teacher. There's also a priest fund, which is a free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory, but you can give whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. The next holy convocation is the Feast of Purim, which is on the 2nd and 3rd of March. Is that correct? Pretty sure it's the 2nd and the 3rd of March. All right. But all brothers and sisters, remember to check the bulletin board in the hallway of your school, which will have all the high holy days down. It has the calendar. And if anybody wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That's boots, shirts, bands, headbands, and scarves. And with that, I'm Madiam. So what I'm going to do real quick is salute any brothers that may be watching. So Yemena Israel, I'm Madiam Shabbath, I'm Madiam, Barak, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Barakatham. All right, Yad Yam Matah. I'm going to salute the sisters. So sisters stand. I'm going to give the sisters a salute. Let me cover the light. There you go, so you can see me. All right, Yemena Israel, I'm Madiam Shabbath, I'm Madiam, Barak, Yahweh Shema Alathan Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Yad Yam Matah. Class dismissed. Most High Christ. Okay. The water, everybody, for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. Hope to see y'all again next week. And with that, shalom.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.